Hello and welcome. I know it's been a long time, it's been many months actually, but I'm glad that I finally decided and got to make a new video. And today I would like to talk to you about one of my new favorite items that I bought in the last about 6 months, and this is the Keychron K4. I believe it's also like Mark II. So I've been using this keyboard for about 6 months now, and I would like to tell you what I think about it. So this is a mechanical keyboard. It's a 96% layout of a keyboard. So you are missing, like, for example, the print screen key and little stuff like that. But other than that, it has all the features. It has the numpad. It has pretty much the entire function arrow. It has everything. This solely depends on what you need it to do. So depending on this choice, you can either choose, like, for example, Cherry MX Browns, which is the setup I'm using. You can also choose Cherry MX Red switches and Cherry MX Blue switches. Depending on this choice of switch, you can also like change the typing experience of the keyboard. So you can make it a gaming keyboard, you can make it a typing keyboard. You can also make it, for example, like a multi-purpose keyboard, which this is what I decided to do with mine. The setup I personally chose is the Cherry MX Browns, as I just said. And the Cherry MX Browns, in my opinion, they are the most versatile switches you can get, since they are not so loud. They are pretty quiet compared to, for example, the Blues or the Red. This is my first mechanical keyboard, so it's way faster than my old mechanical keyboards from Logitech, and I've pretty much almost gotten used to it. The Cherry MX Brown is a switch that has 4mm of total travel, with the second millimeter being the point of activation. As I just said, if you're coming from a membrane keyboard, you will most likely find this keyboard to be a little too fast for your liking, but that's okay, you can get used to it. It took me a while, because all my other keyboards were required a little bit more force to activate them. And this keyboard is like a very well balanced option to use. This is the typing test. This is what it sounds like to use this keyboard. Compatibility wise, this keyboard is pretty versatile. You have Mac, Android and Windows support that can be all toggled with the second switch in the middle. It says it's grouped with Windows and Android, and then you have iOS and Mac, like a different toggle. Then to actually connect the keyboard to your devices, you can either use Bluetooth or the cable. It's a Type-C braided cable with an angled connection, which is pretty nice. But either way, I was a little bit disappointed to see that there is no like the 2.4 GHz radio transmitter that you can just plug into your USB port and use it wirelessly, pretty much effortlessly. And I would find that to be a requirement actually on a keyboard. This is a bit of a downside for me personally. Also, what's interesting to me is that the default setup of this keyboard that comes in the box is actually for Mac and iOS. You get pre-installed the Mac command key and their function keys, like pretty much the differences of the different keys of Mac compared to Windows. But in the box you get a kit to swap these keys. It's pretty simple to use, and you also get two color-rated keys for the light button, like for the RGB button, and for the escape key. This exact model is made with an aluminum chassis, so it's very durable and has minimal deck flex. The keycaps are made from hard PVC, it's hard plastic, and it has clear letters, so the light from the RGB switches can come through. And in my opinion, the design looks pretty nice. You have this like two-tone keycap finish, as you can see right here. You can see that you have pretty much gray, dark gray keycaps all over the keyboard, like the spacebar, the letters, the numpad, and then you have light gray for example, for your arrows, shift key, caps lock, and backspace, and even some function keys. So in my opinion, this looks very nice. Then there of course are many like kits that you can swap out keycaps with, like for example, if you want a different design, a different font, you can find it all online pretty much everywhere if you look for it. I have to say that I also like the, you can say, like industrial design of the chassis, because if you look closely, there are like the aluminum bands and it has gaps on each corner. It's because this isn't made from one piece of aluminum, but I have to say that I like this design and in my opinion it looks good. Then on the side where the Type-C port and all your toggles are, there is the USB port, and next to it is like a green in status light, so that's something that will be pretty much on all the time. And also the rubber feet, like on the bottom, are pretty stable. You have also your kick up feet, I don't know what these are called, but these are to elevate your keyboard. But honestly, I find that this keyboard is already pretty, you can see, like pretty uphill on itself when you place it on a table. So in my opinion, they aren't very needed to be there, those kickstands, but if you want them, if you like them, you can use them. As I already said, this keyboard offers only two ways to connect it to your device. It's either Bluetooth or USB. The USB is of course way more stable and let's say it has less latency. The Bluetooth one is great, like if you, for example, use it with a laptop or a phone, but honestly, me using it mainly on a desktop tower, it kind of loses like the intent of it, because many towers, I'm supposing maybe including yours, doesn't have Bluetooth. And so you would have to get like an external Bluetooth adapter that takes up one of your USB ports. And I find it a little bit useless. Meanwhile, you could have pretty much easily gotten the radio transmitter that I guess takes up one of your USB ports as well, but it's way more stable and way more reliable. It doesn't turn off whenever it wants. This setup will run you $89, which is $10 more compared to the version that has the plastic frame but still got RGB, and will run you $20 more, the plastic frame with white LEDs. Also, you can pay $10 more to get swappable Gateron switches. So if you, for example, down the line want to swap out your Cherry MX browns for Cherry MX reds, or even maybe like some other ones that they don't offer, for example blacks or stuff like that, you could do that, but you would have to pay $10 more. But at least compared to the other versions, you cannot get an aluminum frame with white LEDs, even though that would have been nice, because I'm enjoying the aluminum build quality way more. You can get the swappable Gateron switches for every setup. So if you get the white one, like the white backlit keyboard, you can get swappable switches for $10 extra, and so on. So overall, this keyboard is great for typing, gaming, and whatever you need to do, even office work. I had it in the office, and it's not that loud. It's not loud to the point that people come to you and tell you that you need to get a different keyboard because it's too loud. I would argue that many membrane keyboards sound pretty much as loud as this one does. Its form factor, I have to say, is very clutch, since it's a compressed full, you could say like a full keyboard. It only misses like some keys that you can use shortcuts instead in Windows. So I would say that this setup is very compelling, and the size of it is pretty great as well, for being, even with the numpad and pretty much every other key that is crucial for example, office work or stuff like that, it's great. One downside for example, like editors and gamers would be that it doesn't have any macros, so that's something that I haven't really had ever, so it doesn't affect me that much, since I'm using the Logitech MX Master 3 mouse, which has like the thumb wheel, the buttons, all the gestures, so I don't really need them, for example, for editing or Photoshop or stuff like this, because it's all in my mouse. So overall, I would recommend you getting this keyboard. You would have to hurry as well, because on their website it's pretty often not in stock. I had to wait about 3 months for this keyboard to arrive. So if you want to get one, I would recommend ordering one ASAP. If you watched all over to the end, I thank you a lot. It means a lot to me. And I would like to see you in the next episode. Bye.